Usos can't be beat. Join the crew, take your seat. Welcome to the Wrestle Heat. Malapert Smark, time to fly. Stories don't catch your eye. Talking champs till we die. The smark's always high.
You still slow. What's up, my dog? Good.
Yeah, man. Hey, can we talk for a minute?
Yeah. What up?
No, can we talk alone?
Hey, just give us a minute.
So, what is all that? Is this just it now? Jimmy and Jey, the Usos, is everything cool now after everything Jimmy did to you? I just want to make sure, are you actually going to go back to SmackDown and talk to Roman Reigns and squash this beef? Everything's just fine now?
Sammy, I know what you're saying about Roman. I think Solo's worse, Who's?
No, hang on a second, because Solo's not the one who mentally got in your head for years, okay? He's not the one that made you jump through hoops every single week to prove your worth to your own family.
Sammy, it sounds like you're on Solo's side now, Who's?
No, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not on anybody's side here, okay? I'm on your side. This isn't a lesser of two evils. You don't have to choose one or the other. You could just not get involved. Because this is not, it's not your fight anymore, Jey. This is not your fight anymore. You said it yourself. You're your own man now. You stepped out on your own. I just don't understand why you'd go back. I just don't understand.
Sammy, you wouldn't understand. Because you're not family, Who's?
All right. Welcome back to the Malapert Smark Podcast. I got Vlad with me. I got Robert with me, the Frozen Asian. But these two need no introductions. We're in the middle of reviewing an angle. We'll get to talking to Vlad and Robert in a bit. But we're discussing Monday Night Raw, the angle with the Bloodline on October 28th. I just played you a clip from it of Sami Zayn, a little surprised that Jey Uso was willing to go back into Bloodline business. But I do want to show a couple pictures of what happened later in that night. Robert, in your text message, you said you missed this, but Jimmy said he was going to go talk to Sami Zayn to kind of smooth things over or just be like, just talk to him, right? And he went out into the parking lot to look for him, and they caught a glimpse of Sami with Solo Sikoa, if you look closely. Yeah. They were having a discussion in the parking lot. So, all right, well, Sami Zayn reintroduced into the Bloodline storyline. This is from Monday Night Raw. I know this is a few days ago now. Vlad, the wrestling expert, but I do want to get some thoughts from this before we talk about Crown Jewel, because this is the week of Crown Jewel, which has already happened, so we're going to talk about that in a bit. But we're going back and discussing this angle from Raw. We had some ratings for this angle just from that night. Let's see what you guys came up with. Robert gave it 2 thumbs up, the reintroduction of Sami Zayn into this program. I gave it, or Vlad gave it a thumbs up, and I gave it a this was fire, just because as soon as I saw Sami coming back into this, man, I don't know, that made me giddy. I think this was good storytelling. This was, to me, I like the little things like this, so I'm giving it my only fire rating of the week came from this Monday Night Raw, so I was very happy with it. But anyways, Vlad, the wrestling expert, you gave a thumbs up to this. Let's hear some thoughts about Monday Night Raw, if you could. I know it's a few days ago now, but try to pull something out of your memory banks for us, man.
Yeah, I'll try my hardest. No, but I do obviously remember. I'll try. I do obviously remember this specific moment where, in the backstage stuff and all that. But the one part, I guess, I think I mentioned it in the review, is when Jimmy and Jey were in the ring to start the show, and even though they had hugged on SmackDown, they were like, "Oh, but we're not cool yet." Again on Raw, I'm like, "Dude, we just hugged already on SmackDown." So like, obviously that's what made me think, like, is one of these shows taped? And they were confused. They were confused about or the order of things, and I don't know. I was a little confused. I was slightly confused by that. Overall, though, yeah, this was a good segment, of course. all the backstage stuff actually probably was the best part of the show. And the Bloodline is probably the best part of Raw and SmackDown both now, as they're taking over both shows. I don't know really what else to add. It was good stuff. Obviously, Sami being involved was. I wasn't really giddy in the sense of like Kahan was. I thought it was predictable. I mean, it's going to be a 4-on-4 in Survivor Series, and there's only one other person that could have joined Roman's original crew, and that's Sami. You know, there's just no one else. So it's predictable, but of course I like Sami. I just wasn't like shocked or surprised and thinking that it deserved a fire rating. I think that was probably uncalled for that. But overall, it was a good segment, and that's it. I mean, leave it at that. Good stuff.
Well, the thing about Jey Uso being apprehensive to hug Jimmy, I think, was because he had some stuff on his mind that he needed to air out, and as he did on SmackDown with Roman. It's like he wanted to reconcile, but it's like there was just a few more things they needed to kind of smooth over and talk about.
Yeah. They're not going to be like. I got it.
Yes,
I got it, but I don't know. He already hugged him on SmackDown, so it's.
Yeah. I know.
I know. Huh? Okay, whatever. I guess. Okay, but anyways.
I also liked Jimmy Uso's like angry face or disgusted face at seeing Sami, which was kind of funny because at first when Sami joined the Bloodline, it was Jimmy who was willing to kind of bring him in, and now it's flipped around where Jey is his friend on Raw, or has been his friend since the whole Bloodline fall or whatever of the original Bloodline.
Well, of course.
But
okay, it goes without saying this is tremendous long term storytelling type deal. Of course, this is an angle that's been going on for years in a sense. So in that sense, this is tremendous that they could still focus on the Bloodline years since they've been a group, right? So
yes.
Yeah,
all right. Well, let me jump to Robert. Robert, 2 thumbs up from this night. Let's hear anything you want to say from this night. I know a lot of things has happened since then, but I'm trying to focus on just this angle for this minute. So let's hear it. No time limit for you right now. Sorry, on the next angle, I'll put 90 seconds on the clock, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I really like this a lot. It also felt off-putting to me when they seemingly had some grievances to work out in the ring, where on the previous episode of SmackDown they already hugged it out, so it seemed like everything was okay already. So that was a little off-putting, but I still like this a lot. And the backstage segment with Sami, you know, I think I might have been the first to predict the Bloodline reunion with Sami Zayn months ago. So I knew this was going to happen eventually, and as the weeks and months went by, like, it was an inevitability pretty much. So it finally happened here. Good timing right before Crown Jewel. It was great. Now again, I missed that part where Sami was talking to Solo. I don't know what I was doing.
It was real quick. It was quick.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it must have been. Yeah, it must have been quick, and I don't know. I was probably away from the TV, but still, I liked it.
You were probably taking a shot of gin and juice, like you always are, Robert. I know you.
Sure.
Every time.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I know you drink gin and tonic or something, right? Isn't that what you drink at the bar? Or
Jameson and ginger.
No, you don't do gin ever? Okay, I'm thinking of something else then. Forget it. For some reason, I thought you ordered gin sometimes, but all right, Jameson. So now we know what you were doing during the segment. You were drinking Jameson then.
Sure.
All right then. Is that it for this? Can I move on to what happened on SmackDown?
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. So real quick, I'm not gonna talk about it in detail. I have to refer you to the links in the description of our video here if you haven't seen the original video. I'm guessing you have, but if you really need to, I do have links posted of all the original historical footage, as I call it, from Raw and SmackDown and Dynamite or whatever we're talking about. But okay, so SmackDown, I'm jumping to Friday night. This was November 1st, 2 nights ago now. We're recording on a Sunday here, the night after Crown Jewel, but we're talking about SmackDown, and this is where, as we mentioned a minute ago, Jey had to air out a couple of grievances and smooth some kinks over with Roman if he was going to rejoin the crew, at least for this fight against the new Bloodline, Solo's Bloodline. So here is a picture of Jey talking to Roman, and as Vlad said, what did he say? We have to be equals now. He's not going to accept being abused and all that. Just to paraphrase. But in the end, Roman did agree, and he said yeet. One line, I think, it was all he said, and he was like, "Yep." And they all threw up the ones, and they did the guns up salute. So if you ain't down with that, two words for you, right? Guns up.
We just lost 100 subscribers because of that reference.
Well, that is what they did. But anyway, ratings for this angle from SmackDown. By the way, we reviewed all angles. Sorry, Robert.
Okay.
Let me just remind the audience that we do review every angle from every wrestling show in America, but it's only on our review post. So go on our YouTube post tab and we review it. But for this podcast, we have to choose a few of them only because we can't stay and talk all night.
Yeah.
So I've chosen 12 angles today. So this SmackDown angle is one of them. And the reviews that Vlad and Robert and myself submitted for this night on SmackDown, a thumbs up from each of us, regular thumbs up. So we all like this. Jey Uso making up with Roman Reigns as they're set for a battle with the Bloodline at Crown Jewel. Solo also had a promo later in the night, which I included in this angle. But all right, for right now, I'll get thoughts from Robert. So Robert, I don't know, you watched this segment from SmackDown recently, I think. You submitted your review today. So I'll give you 90 seconds. You could use all of it or less or whatever you want to do. What can you tell us about Jey Uso and Roman finally reconciling? How did you like this, and what did you think?
Yeah, I like this too. There's only one thing that kind of confused me. I wouldn't necessarily call it a plot hole, but a couple weeks ago on Raw, I'm pretty sure I remember Roman Reigns telling Jey Uso that he was proud of him, right? And it seemed like to me like he was trying to reconcile with him right then and there. So I don't know why there was hesitancy here. So that's the only thing I have to say about that. That's it seems like inconsistent with what happened a couple weeks ago. But overall, I still like this segment. They had to get back together right before Crown Jewel. So yeah, that's it.
All right, Vlad, I'll jump over to you. Thumbs up from you also. Anything you want to say about the SmackDown, and then we're going to get to the Crown Jewel showdown afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, it's a continuation of what was on Raw. They said they were going to meet up on Raw for SmackDown, and here they are. You really can't... I mean, it was a good segment, but there wasn't really much said by Roman. It was just kind of Jey saying very similar things that he said to Jimmy on Raw, right? So, good segment. Wasn't bad, just I think we were all waiting to get to the Crown Jewel at this point. So there wasn't much. I thought Roman would give a little bit more in this interview, to be honest. Just maybe state why he was kind of an asshole for all those years, why he had to be. You could have said a lot of different things. Maybe they're saving that for another time. That's fine. Probably there's plenty of time for that to still be said. But overall, yeah, good segment.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just a segment that had to happen. But you're right. I think Roman in the storyline is taking this kind of hard. He seems like he doesn't want to be this way, but he has to get the help because Solo has been dominating him, and 4-on-1 they'll whoop his ass every time.
Yeah.
So he
needs his original guy back.
Yeah, but he's biting his tongue, and he's just he's going along with whatever they say because he needs their help. But yeah, I think this hurts his ego a little bit. But all right, so let's move on to the Crown Jewel matchup. This is from yesterday in the morning where we were, but SmackDown supposedly I think was on Friday, and then Crown Jewel was on Saturday. But I think it was tape delayed, right? SmackDown was
this SmackDown was taped for sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, because it would have been that's what didn't make sense to me. The SmackDown was at 5 p.m. on Friday, and then they flew to Saudi Arabia and had a show at 10 a.m.
It would have been impossible. No.
So, okay.
Fastest plane ride ever.
Yeah, literally. All right, so we're jumping to the six-man tag, the grudge match. It's the Bloodline, representing the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa with his boys. It was Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga on this one. And Tonga Loa was just hanging out with them. And then so here's the four of them,
That'll make
and then
sense.
Jimmy and Roman came out as the first entrance for the old bloodline, I guess we could call them. And Jey came out by himself because he's a single star now and he has his own ring walk entrance. But I'll just jump to the ending. Okay, it was a long match. If you guys want to see it, there's a link in the description of the full match. All right, it's pretty long. But for the purposes of this, I'm just trying to get reviews from Vlad and Robert, so I'm not trying to summarize too much. But we'll give the ending. So I'll skip to the ending, and basically Solo had Jacob Fatu had a chance to clean house. He took out Roman, and then he dove onto the Usos, which looked really great, and then he left Roman in the ring for Solo, who gave Roman 2 Samoan spikes and pinned him. So finally, Solo's crew get a big win after all the freaking losses they've taken recently. And then, so they get some heat back, I guess, as Vlad would say. To Vlad, this fixes everything. All the losses and weakness that they've made Solo look. The SmackDown Steel Cage loss to Cody, clean. But okay, fine. They got some heat back, right, Vlad? But
Yeah, well, somewhat, yeah. You have to say they did get some of it back.
they won
Maybe
pretty
not all.
clean, too. They didn't really cheat too much. But so after the match, heels that they are, there was an afterbirth, and they try to beat up on the old Bloodline guys. So here they are beating up on Jey Uso. And then that's when they were going to, kind of break his neck or whatever with the steel chair. And they got him ready to do that. And then Sami Zayn's music hit, which got a big pop in Saudi Arabia because he's from that area, I guess. Been a big baby face over there. So Sami comes in, and this was where there's a little bit of, I guess, uncertainty because we didn't really know what would happen because we did catch him talking to Solo the other day. But as Vlad said, they needed to make this 4-on-4 for each side, right? So eventually, Sami did a little swerve where he was going to hug Solo, which I don't know why Solo is inviting him into the bloodline because he's not family. But okay, he'll take him, right? And then Sami was going to do it, but instead he gives him like a suplex instead of a hug. So that's where they clean house. And they had Solo all by himself. And then Roman gets up, and he still hasn't seen Sami. He was going to Superman punch Solo, and Solo gets out of the way. And Sami kicks him, which looked good. That was a good spot.
Great. That was a great spot.
Yes, they did that really well. They were planning to do something kind of complicated, but it worked out. And then Roman's all, messed up from it. Solo's laughing. And Jimmy's like, what the hell are you doing here? And I think Jey is telling him, like, wait, hold on. He helped us. Just let him go. So Sami walks off. And Roman finally gets a view of that Sami's there, and Jimmy tells him Sami's there, and Solo's like, or Roman's like, what the fuck? What is he doing here? How the hell did that happen? But okay, so there's the match. The Bloodline finally get a win. I'll jump back to Vlad. Vlad gave this 2 thumbs up on our Malapert Smark rating system. He loved it. We all did. We all gave this 2 thumbs up. So the 3 of us unanimous, same rating on this. So Vlad, 90 seconds. Let's hear your review on this 6-man tag match from Crown Jewel.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it was just the match, I would have given it just 1 thumb up because it was a good match, and they did a good job going over the fact that the old Bloodline were not really united. They still had problems throughout the match between Jimmy and Roman, right, not wanting to tag each other, or Jimmy did want to tag Roman a couple times. So I think they did a good job getting that point across. But the post-match stuff with Sami was really interesting, really good. Well done. That, as you mentioned, that spot specifically where they both meant to hit Solo, but Sami hit Roman instead. Creates more tension. But we know eventually they will have this Survivor Series match. They'll get united. And I would think that they would win too, unless there's another swerve in the head, but who knows? But anyways, this was good stuff. Across the Bloodline angle has definitely been the highlight again of not only SmackDown, not only Raw, but I thought it was probably the best thing that happened on Crown Jewel as well. So, yeah, good stuff.
All right, then I'll jump to Robert. Robert, you also gave this 2 thumbs up. So,
Yes.
anything you want to say about this 6-man tag and the afterbirth?
Yes, I love this. I did predict that the new Bloodline would beat the original one because they needed it. They needed some momentum heading into Survivor Series for sure. So that
Yeah.
the result didn't surprise me. The fact that they won pretty clean was a little bit surprising, or at least at first. But then when I, took some time to think about it, I think that's actually good that they won clean because that just reinforces the fact that the original Bloodline does need help, and and here it comes, or we'll see what happens later. But they'll need Sami Zayn's help. Well, right now, there's some issues to fix clearly, but I'm sure the weeks leading up to Survivor Series, that's pretty much going to be the angle is the internal strife between the original Bloodline and how they navigate through that while also having to contend with the new Bloodline. So overall, really good stuff.